What is your name? My name is Bradley Faithful Wright. My role at Paradox Interactive is a game designer on Hearts of Iron. So I do all of the balance and system design, make sure that the design vision of the game director is followed through all designs.
My name is Björn Persson Mattsson. I'm a programmer.
My name is Roland Wex. I'm currently the producer on Hearts of Iron 4.
My name is Mathieu Aubert. I'm a tech lead on Hearts of Iron. It means I coach and try to direct the programmers on the team and try to follow on like specific tech issues and make sure the builds are running well, stability, performance, that kind of thing.
How long have you worked at Paradox Interactive? I've been here close to 5 years.
I've been working at Paradox Interactive for a year.
3 years and a half. I joined in May 2018.
I've been here for just over a year now, and I've been on Hearts of Iron all of that time. How long have you worked on Hearts of Iron? All of that time, just over a year.
I've joined the team at the beginning of March this year, so I've been here for close to 8 months, give or take.
A bit more than a year ago, actually. Somewhere, I think I was officially the tech lead for the release of Battle for the Boss for us, so that puts it roughly September, October 2020.
Any previous roles at Paradox Interactive? I started at Publishing QA in 2017, did it for a year and a half, and then I joined Publishing Production as a producer. Did that for close to 2 years as well, and now I'm a development producer on Hearts of Iron.
I started out as a gameplay programmer on European Universities 4, and then I went on to Stellaris for the rest of 2020 until I moved to Hoy, in which I was also like a gameplay programmer.
What is your favorite aspect of No Step Back? Definitely the tank designer. Is creative and has a big impact on what you do in the game and has a big impact on how well you do. And I really like the fact that you get to express your own little way of playing the game through it. And I think that's something that really comes to light in multiplayer.
I think it's the supply we work, the fact that you can have nice trains and rails on the map. I think it gives a very interesting vibe. And you can see the flow and the color of provinces with supply. I also like the fact that we were the first one to have trains on the map, and we were literally forbidden to show them to the public until Victoria 3 announced, because we were so jealous that we had them first.
I would say the supply system, because I love all grand strategy games that Paradox makes, and the supply system really deepens the strategic and tactical components of the game and really bring the big World War II armchair general feeling out. Was there something you really wanted in the DLC that got cut? Yes, because I'm a producer.
Yeah, the character coup system. There was something where the officers could get disgruntled and try to coup the country and replace your leader. Unfortunately, it wasn't very fun to play with, and so I think it's for the best that we removed it.
We had some really cool stuff in the officer corps in the early days that I would have preferred to have not been cut, but I'm the guy that actually got rid of them. Yeah, I really wish we could have had coups driven by your generals. Circumstance meant that we couldn't have it. That was something I advocated for, but like, yeah, it would have been really cool if we could have had that.
I think we had a very large scope. Like, we're doing a lot in this DLC. We're rehauling the supply system. We've added railway guns, which are a very special type of unit, which came with a lot of technical risks. I'm pretty happy with the way that the project turned out. So we've cut some things, but nothing too major, and I'm very happy with everything that is currently in the game. An extremely great job, and I think everything that we focused on, we had the time to focus on to really make sure that we were able to address community feedback that we got from our betas, from our dev diaries, and made sure that we got the experience that we, the devs, are happy with and that we think the community is going to be happy with as well. So I wouldn't really change anything.
How many different coding languages do you know? At least 4. C++, which is what we use here at Hearts of Iron. C#, Java, Python, and then there are probably a bunch more that I kinda know how to use.
What mechanic of Hearts of Iron do you think wouldn't work but did? The supply system. The supply system at moments felt like it was going to collapse under us, and it was going to take down the expansion, but it didn't. Eventually, we had those eureka moments where somebody just said something, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh wow, yeah, that actually just makes sense, and like everything just happens. So yeah, that's definitely the supply system did not feel like it was going to work for a little bit.
The tech designer. I was not super sold at first. I was kind of afraid that being a designer inside a designer, it wouldn't be like easy to see the impact. But as it turns out, the fun is mostly for me to just build the crazy, stupid tanks. I remember QA managed to make a tank that would technically had a negative speed, and I don't know, I don't think it did anything, but it would have been fun if it just could go backwards instead.
Favorite thing you yourself worked on for No Step Back? I would say it would be the improved weather system, because I worked on that quite a lot, as well as the AI and the improvements there.
That's a big question because I work with the entire project. But to me, it would be the team. It's a bit corny, I know, but I think we have a pretty new team. Like a lot of people, like myself, are new to Hearts of Iron. And I think the way that we came together, especially during the work from home period, during the pandemic, we've built a lot of great trust across our teams, and I think we work really well together. Being together, working with a lot of passionate people is the one thing I love the most about this project. I think No Step Back has been a great experience that we've had. So to me, the team and the relationships that we've built and camaraderie that we have are amazing. A bit corny, I know, but it makes the job worthwhile, the people that you work with.
Do you think peace conferences will be redone in the future? Everything is possible. Nothing is off the table for being redone ever, as long as somebody can have a good idea for it that we can do.
How many active developer builds of Hoi 4 are there at any one time? There is mainly one, that is the nightly build that is redone every night and that everybody, both developers and beta tester can access. Then we have one special one when we're starting to get close to release the release candidate. And finally, AI programmers and designers can make a special dedicated build for themselves that they use if they want to test some hypothesis without breaking balance for everybody else.
Is there a future pet project you would like to see added to Hoi? I really want to do core level commands as a pet project. So I really liked that in the old game as much as the old organizational system was bad and a nightmare to deal with, but I really want to come up with a nice way that we can do that in Hoi 4.
I would like to see AI that can learn from what the player does, and I would also like the player to be able to communicate better with the AI so that you can work together with it instead of beside it.
Yeah, I'm Belgian, so I would like to see a specific Belgian focus tree. Not sure if that's going to happen in the near future, because we have more important things to do. But overall, what I'd like to see in the project is, because from a producer perspective, we make the game for the fans, right? We make the game specifically for our community and for you guys to play. So I don't really have any pet projects. Primarily, I want to make the experience or make the game as close to how the community wants it. So that's really what I want to do.
What does the process of fixing bugs look like? It's kind of detective work. Mostly you get a ticket that says there is X bug and there's like steps to reproduce it. You try to reproduce them, hopefully you reproduce them, and once you manage to reproduce the bug, you try to kind of work your way backward and figure out what the root cause is, what's causing it, either in code or in script, and then try to address that. If someone ever asks why is this bug never fixed, usually the classic answer is we could not reproduce it. Like, if you can't reproduce a bug, it is very unlikely that we will be able to fix it.
Is Clausewitz PDX homemade game engine hard to work with? I would say sometimes. It mostly improves the workflow, makes it easier to work with things, but some parts of it are a bit hard to work with, and I would mainly attribute that to the fact that the Clausewitz version that Hearts of Iron is using is pretty old at this stage, and I think the newer versions of the game engine is even easier to work with.
What processes go into balancing the game between single and multiplayer? Normally they're kind of the same problem, really. Everything that makes something really, really powerful or underpowered in multiplayer is going to be exploited by the player against the AI as well. And we want the game against the AI to be challenging as much as playing against other players is challenging. So it's generally the same problem, and balancing one normally makes the other more balanced. So it's not so much of a decision of do we want to lean this balancing towards multiplayer or single player, it's more is the game generally balanced, and you will see if it's not balanced, it will appear in one of those two. Thanks for all your questions.
Thanks for all your questions.
Thanks for your questions.
Thank you for all your questions. Yeah.
That was great. That was great.